Watch it. Lower away.
Hold it right there.
So what you just heard, it might sound like total chaos, right? But it's not. Far from it. That is a symphony. It's the sound of hundreds of people and massive machines all working together, perfectly in sync, guided by this constant stream of radio commands to build a highway in the sky. And today, we're going to deconstruct that symphony.
Here's how we're going to break it down. We're going to follow this build through 5 key stages. First, we'll tune in to the language of the construction site itself. Then, we'll see how they spin this incredible steel web of cables, assemble a road literally in midair, pave that sky highway, and finally, watch as the whole bridge comes to life.
You know, every single thing that happens on a site this massive, from pouring a bucket of concrete to tightening a final bolt, it all starts with a command. It's this non-stop flow of information that keeps hundreds of workers coordinated across this giant canyon, making sure every single piece fits perfectly, and most importantly, that everybody stays safe. So where does the symphony actually begin? Well, it starts with building the bridge's backbone, and that first huge task is installing the massive suspension cables. Now, these aren't just some ropes, they're more like the steel heartstrings of the whole structure. They're what's going to hold the entire weight of the road.
And when I say massive, what are we really talking about? Well, a suspension cable is this enormous bundle of thousands of individual steel wires. When they're all woven together, they create this single unit that has almost unimaginable strength. We're talking strong enough to support the thousands and thousands of tons of steel and concrete that will eventually become the bridge. It's just incredible.
And getting them in place? The process has to be absolutely perfect. First, these main bundles of wire have to be seated perfectly inside their huge anchor frames. Then the tension is calibrated with extreme care. I mean, if it's too loose or too tight, the whole bridge is compromised. And finally, every single clamp is secured, one by one.
And you can literally hear this insane level of precision in the commands. It's like this delicate dance with these immense, powerful forces. Guide that bundle into the anchor frame. Tension increasing on line 2. You can just feel the weight in those words. Every word matters when you're dealing with this much pressure.
Okay, so with the cables locked in, the stage is set for one of the most mind-blowing parts of the whole build, constructing the road deck itself. This means lifting these giant, pre-made sections of the road hundreds of feet up in the air and connecting them with painstaking, piece-by-piece care. And the level of precision we're talking about here is almost unbelievable. Think about it. They're connecting these multi-ton steel segments, just dangling in the air, and their margin for error is just 2 millimeters. That's thinner than a couple of credit cards stacked together. Any more than that, and the mistake could multiply down the line, creating catastrophic stress points in the bridge.
And hey, this isn't just some number on a blueprint. The crew is constantly measuring, constantly adjusting in real time. You can hear it straight from the site. We are 2 millimeters high on the east side, adjusting now. It's just this continuous loop of tiny, tiny corrections to get that perfect fit.
And as if all of that wasn't hard enough, you've got to factor in Mother Nature. On a perfectly calm day, it's already an engineering marvel. But when the wind kicks up, that multi-ton piece of road can turn into a giant pendulum, which makes the work not only difficult, but incredibly dangerous. The commands themselves really reflect this constant danger. Suddenly, it's not just about alignment anymore. It's about pure survival. Watch the wind shear, hold it steady against the wind. Wow, you can feel the tension in that simple instruction, can't you?
All right, the steel skeleton is complete. Now it's time to put some skin on those bones and actually turn this thing into a highway. This is the paving phase, where all the specialized machinery gets lifted up onto the bridge to lay down that smooth, durable asphalt that people will one day be driving on. The whole process is like this beautifully choreographed dance, way up in the air. First, the paving machines are carefully guided into place. Then hot asphalt gets poured and spread, and right behind it come these heavy rollers to compact it all down. And all the while, every single section is being inspected for quality. You can actually hear this workflow in the radio chatter. It's like an assembly line in the sky. One person positions the machine, the next one announces the roller is on its way, and then a final call confirms the quality. Every single foot of that bridge has to be perfect before they move on.
So you might think, okay, the last section is paved, the job's done, right? Nope, not even close. In fact, you could argue the most critical phase is just getting started. It's testing time. This is where engineers use this huge network of sensors to make sure the bridge behaves exactly the way it was designed to.
They're basically giving this brand new bridge a full physical. This table gable gives you a little peek at what they're checking. How much does the deck bend under pressure? Is the wind shear okay? Are the cables at the perfect tension? They're so thorough, they even spot tiny things like a little bit of minor corrosion on cable 72.
And to make sure this thing is truly safe, they don't just wait for a bad storm to roll in. Oh no, they create one. They run these intense stress tests that push the bridge to its absolute limits, hitting it with forces that are way beyond what it would normally ever have to face.
And this is the moment of truth. The data comes back from that simulated storm. Wind speeds are peaking at 100 kilometers per hour. Cable displacement remains within tolerance. The structure is holding steady. That is the sound of success. It means the Symphony of Construction has created an absolute masterpiece of engineering.
And so, after thousands upon thousands of commands, countless hours of intense labor, and all that rigorous testing, the work is finally done. The bridge is ready. It's the final, triumphant confirmation for the team that built a highway in the sky.
Amazing, isn't it? From all that radio chatter echoing across the canyon, a modern marvel is born. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? As you go about your day, what other unseen symphonies of command, coordination, and incredible skill are quietly building the world all around us?